All right, Tuesday night on the Krug Show, the great Raj Milwani is in the house from RSF 49ers. We got a lot to talk to. Mac's hurt. Taylor's hurt. Are the Niners going to trade for Brian Robinson? What are the Niners going to do at the cut down? Who goes? Who stays? A lot to get to. Preseason game number 3, just days away. We're 1 week from the cut down. Let's go. Off and running Tuesday night on the Krug Show. The great Raj in the house. Always love Tuesday nights. We're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out there in Emeryville, there in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out, so get there early. Get some brisket chili. Tell them the Krug sent you. We're also brought to you by our good friends at Claw Daddy Arcade. You see that logo right above Raj's head there. Claw Daddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades for a location near you. They are just opening in Capitola Mall, also in Visalia Mall. Also, thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. We'll tell you more about them in a bit. But we are off and running. And before we get rolling, we should tell you, like we always tell you, it's 7:20 West Coast, 10:20 East Coast. And if you're watching us live on YouTube, do us a favor, smash the like button, hit subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell, and make sure it's turned on so you never miss a show. And remember, once the live stream wraps, you can catch the full replay anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever your favorite platform is. Just search the Krug Show and you'll find us. So we got a lot to get to. So let's jump right to it. Raj, good to see you, man. Long time no see. We just talked to Raj on the KMBR YouTube channel, and we're continuing the conversation over here on the Krug Show, our dual stream on a Tuesday. Raj, good to see you. How's things?
Yeah, man, good to see you too. It's always fun to be here. We got a little early start tonight, so happy. We got 1 more week of preseason, and I'm excited because the season's around the corner. I wish we weren't as injured, but I'm excited for this weekend especially, Larry, because we get to see a lot of old faces back in the day. Jim Harbaugh, Trey Lance, Bowman's going to be there. Greg Roman.
Forgot about that. G-Ro, Bowman, yeah. Trey Lance.
Ofuko. What's Tulo Ofuko? Will Tufuoco. Yeah, he's a defensive coach on the Chargers.
Tufuaga.
There you go. Yeah, I can't pronounce
Will Tufuaga.
Yeah.
Former Niner fullback and D lineman.
Yeah.
Harbaugh and the Chargers roll in Saturday night. Preseason game number 3. I would imagine people give those tickets away the most, right?
Yeah. I got my tickets free from someone that wasn't going to the game.
Yeah, I would imagine too. If it's preseason game number 3, do you want to go or do you want to give those away? I would say that a lot of people would give their tickets away.
And
what's that?
And I take them,
and you'll take them.
Go watch Trey Lance.
Exactly. What I was hoping we would see is Mac Jones against Trey Lance on the same field. But Mac Jones has a sprained knee. Now, it doesn't sound serious. It sounds like it's not serious. And Shanahan said, hey, he'll be ready for week 1, but he's just not ready to play this week. So the Niners signed Nate Sudfeld. I would imagine Purdy doesn't play this week, and that maybe it's Bradley in the first half and Sudfeld in the second half or something kind of along those lines. But what do you think of the Mac Jones injury and the Sudfeld signing? That's probably the biggest 2 stories of the day.
Yeah, Sud season's back, baby. We brought the Nate the Great. Again, with Kyle Shanahan, he's going to bring in people that are familiar with the system, with his offense. He doesn't want to retrain him again. And at first this morning, when I saw that they had signed Sudfeld, I was like, what's up? Are they going to get rid of Carter Bradley? And then it turned out Mac Jones had the injury, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So luckily, Kyle says it's not that major. He's going to be back for week 1, but Kyle says that a lot. So I'm going to tread lightly whenever he gives us an update status report on some of these injuries, because you never know. At the end of the day, now, if this was a serious injury, I'd be very, very stressed, because if Brock Purdy goes down anytime this season and then you have to rely on maybe Carter Bradley or Nate Sudfeld, it's not a good thing. So luckily, it's preseason. It's probably precautionary. You don't need to throw Mac Jones out there to risk him to get hurt in a preseason game. He took a lot of hits in that game against the Raiders, so I'm sure he felt a little sore. Let him rest. He'll be back week one. Week one, we probably won't need him because Brock Purdy's going to be there starting, and knock on wood, there's not going to be injuries. But yeah, I wasn't too concerned because it's preseason and it's probably precautionary. But I was upset because I wanted to finally see Mac Jones, Trey Lance for all the marbles, and Kyle Shanahan gets to show that this is why I chose Mac over, or this is why I wanted Mac over Trey.
Well, and it's funny, but he took Trey, and it's funny. He talked about it today, and they were asking the media, we were asking him about it, and he's like, I love Trey. I root for Trey. And then he goes back to, we were committed to drafting a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, the way he says it just makes me think that they never really were committed to Trey. They were just committed to the rookie quarterback, and they just didn't know which one they wanted. And, I think they probably did want Mac Jones. That would be my guess, but maybe there was so much pushback from the fan base and guys going, "Oh my God, you can't take Mac Jones with the third pick. You gotta go for Trey. You got to go for Fields, and you got to go for an athlete." And they were dreaming the dream of Mahomes, and let's get a big, strong, athletic guy. And they went for Trey Lance over Mac Jones. What was your read on that? Why do you think ultimately they went Trey Lance over Mac Jones? Do you think it was the fans pushing so hard against Mac Jones? Was it the this also was a very trying time as far as the country? Was there pressure on them to take a more athletic quarterback than just a pocket passer who couldn't move? Seemed like you look at the league and people wanted their Mahomes, they wanted their Josh Allen. It was easy to look at Trey Lance and Justin Fields and say, yeah, they've got upside potential that Mac just doesn't have. Well, that's still to this day true. They're better athletes than Mac Jones, but I think Mac Jones is probably a better quarterback than those guys. Well, what do you think? Why do you think the Niners went with Trey Lance over Mac Jones?
It's a great question. And there's a little bit of all of that. And I remember during that time, it was nuts, that whole situation, because we were like, oh my God, we're getting a quarterback. It was wild. And everybody knew, okay, we're moving away from Jimmy. And I think because Jimmy Garoppolo was also still front and center in this whole situation, it was like, okay, if you take Mac Jones, you really just get a younger, maybe less mobile Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what everybody was saying. And then when Kyle dropped the bar of, hey, the guy we're getting with the trade up is a guy that, we could have, we don't want to get him at 12. We want to get him at 3. We can't get him at 3 if we didn't trade up. And that whole situation was like, well, you get Mac Jones at 12. Why would you trade up to get Mac Jones? You didn't have to trade up to go and get, a Mac Jones. So I feel like that in itself, the fan base, there was a huge, huge, negative reaction whenever anybody brought up Mac Jones on any social media post. Like, if you went back and you go back and look at those posts, everybody was anti-Mac Jones. So I feel like, yes, there was a pushback for the fans, but you're not going to let the fans dictate it. There was also a lot of tension in those draft rooms. I remember hearing reports, and I know people close to the team, they were saying whenever they would get out on whatever day they were discussing quarterback, it was like tensions were high. I think half the team wanted certain player, the other team, Kyle Shanahan, wanted certain player, and it was just at some point they had to reach a compromise, and I think they realized they would ruffle a lot of feathers if they didn't take the guy with the high upside. And like you said, they wanted a guy that's similar or of the ilk of which they thought at the time, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. The league was shifting towards that. So crazy times. I feel like Kyle definitely felt a lot of pressure. And, I remember there was a report too, somewhere around the lines of Kyle Shanahan says he called John Lynch when he was in Mexico and said, hey, I need you to pull up the film of Trey Lance. And then that kind of started coming up, and people are like, oh, does he really like Trey? And then he goes to the pro days, and then there was a lot of scuttle of, oh, he really liked Trey at the pro days. And then there was Justin Fields. And at the end of the day, people just did not want Mac Jones. And I feel like if Kyle would have picked Mac Jones, the fan base probably would have went nuclear, because it was a celebration when they didn't select Mac Jones. But honestly, looking back, he should have just picked the guy he wanted. you know?
Yeah, I mean, and who, I can understand why, and people are like, Mac Jones has done a Ram faithful. Mac Jones has done absolutely nothing his whole career. That's not true. He made the Pro Bowl as a rookie.
Yeah.
They went to the playoffs as a rookie, didn't he? Did they not? Didn't they go to the playoffs? Didn't he make the Pro Bowl?
He was a Pro Bowl. He had the gritty in the Pro Bowl. Yeah, he was first year.
I mean, it's not like he's done nothing. Then he went to Jacksonville. Then he was coached by defensive coaches. Then he went to Jacksonville. Now he's with the Niners. He's completed about 80% of his passes, I would say, in practice this summer. I don't know. I personally, I didn't like the idea of Mac Jones because I thought, why would you trade up for somebody as limited as Mac Jones? But you know what? Shanahan was so probably tired of Jimmy Garoppolo that he just wanted somebody who could process and get the ball out and play with accuracy and on time. I think he was willing to take Mac Jones with the team that they had. The question is, would Mac Jones had stepped in? How would he have done with that team? I mean, it's hard to say, but he looks good now with the 49ers. He looks so good that when I heard today they were picking up Sudfeld, I actually had all kinds of thoughts. I thought maybe there's an injury. Maybe Bradley's hurt. Maybe Mac's hurt. I didn't think Brock was hurt. But then I also thought, you know what? Maybe there's some team out there that wants Mac Jones and would be willing to trade for Mac Jones. I mean, the Colts just put Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback. And there was some speculation this spring, that if Daniel Jones beat out Anthony Richardson, that they were maybe going to part ways with Richardson and they might bring in a player like a Mac Jones to back up Daniel Jones, which is interesting. I mean, it's like, if the Colts called tomorrow and said, hey, we'll give you Anthony Richardson for Mac Jones, would you do it?
This is what I'm doing. I'm hanging up the phone, Larry. I'm not an Anthony Richardson.
You're not doing it.
It's terrible. He lost the job to Danny Dimes. No.
But he is, in a lot of ways, think about it this way.
No.
If the Niners really wanted Trey Lance, why? Why did they want Trey Lance? Because they wanted a big, athletic guy with a strong arm. Well, what is Anthony Richardson? He's a big, athletic guy with a strong arm. Now, Trey Lance didn't work for the Niners. And, but I mean, Mac Jones wants a start probably. And he's not going to start behind Brock Purdy, where if you got a guy like Anthony Richardson, at least you could use Anthony Richardson, on the goal line. You could run him a little bit. You could use him on a special package. Brock's your starter. Brock's going to be your starter. Mac's never going to beat out Brock. So if you could get a great athlete like Anthony Richardson, you still would say no.
No, he's glass. He's more injury prone than some of our running backs. This man, if he could play running back, Larry, bring him in. I want nothing to do with Anthony Richardson. I've been on record since the day he was drafted. I said he's going to be terrible. What are the Colts doing? And I've been right about him. I don't want Anthony Richardson. Please no. And as far as Trey goes, hey, looking back on it, hindsight's 2020. He definitely was very raw. He didn't have a lot of experience, and I think Mac would have been a better. Like looking back, I can admit I was wrong. I think a lot of people can admit they were wrong. Mac was pro ready. I think they should have taken him. They probably would have made the playoffs with him as quarterback, because he was, again, pro ready. He didn't have the ceiling. But Trey Lance, so green, so young. And I mean, now he's gotten a little bit more time and development, and he's got a guy that can nurture him with like Harbaugh. So I'm happy for him. Just like Kyle said, I wish nothing but the best for him. I want to see him succeed. He's a nice young man. I don't know. You've met Trey Lance, obviously.
Yeah.
He's a nice, I've hung out with this
great
guy.
Family, great kid.
Nice guy. I want him to succeed, but
I do too. I still believe he will have some success. What do you think in this preseason? If he's not driving the ball down the field. It's not like he's not completing a high percentage of his passes. People have acted like, oh my God, Trey's been great, but Trey was 7 of 15 for 121 yards in the last game. He also ran 4 times for 25 yards, but he's not, he's not necessarily driving the ball down the field or anything. What do you think? Has he shown anything to you this summer in the second game against the Saints, he was 7 of 14 for 55 yards, but ran it 7 times for 48 yards and a touchdown. Is he really coming on as some people are saying, or is he just, on a really good Charger team and he's just kind of running the ball and he's throwing it a little bit? I mean, 7 of 14 for 55 yards is not necessarily lighting it up.
It's not lighting it up, but what I noticed, Brett, with him compared to where it was in the past, he just seems happy. He seems confident. He seems comfortable, like running plays. Like, yeah, okay, he's gonna miss some plays. He's not turning it all, right? Turning it over like crazy. Because I remember last year in Dallas, I want to say 4 or 5 interceptions. I can't remember. He was just, it was bad, and you could tell he was stressed out. There was pressure on him, even with the Niners. Number 3 pick, there was stress, pressure, and he just didn't look comfortable. He always had his face like looking like he was miserable. He just looks happy. Maybe it's because, the Chargers have a great team around him. Maybe it's because, different philosophy in coaching. I feel like he just looks happier. I have noticed, he's had some pretty balls. Like, he's thrown some nice passes, but he had those moments with the Niners. Like, if you remember the Trent Sherfield, like the bomb he threw, like that, everybody thought he was going to be him. Like, preseason game, he throws the bomb. It's the Chiefs. And then Trent Sherfield touchdown. Like, at that moment, it was like, oh, my God, this is the guy. He's had a few of those passes this preseason, but the biggest difference to me is he just looks confident and comfortable and happy, but he's not blowing the world on fire.
Anthony Richardson's future now in Indianapolis is up in the air. His agent has reacted with disappointment when Daniel Jones got the starting job. His agent is a guy named Derek Jackson. He stopped short of demanding a trade, but he did wonder aloud whether Shane Steichen's decision might have been predetermined when they signed Daniel Jones to that 1-year, $14 million contract. Jackson said of the discussion of the impending conversations with the Colts, "We have a lot to discuss." So there you go. He said trust is a big factor, and that is at best questionable right now. Anthony came back. He made the improvements in the areas he needed to improve, and by all accounts, he had a great camp. Richardson said there were no hard feelings about Steichen's decision. I don't know. It's interesting. Richardson is in a lot of ways, I always felt like Anthony Richardson is what the 49ers wanted Trey Lance to be. They wanted a big guy who could run, but Trey couldn't run. But this guy can run. He's got 4.4 speed. They wanted a guy with a big arm, but Trey didn't really have a big arm. He really didn't. I thought his arm was good, but not great. Anthony Richardson's got a ridiculous arm. So I mean, I know what you're saying as far as Richardson's really raw. He hasn't necessarily looked all that good, but I mean that he probably has the greatest skill set of any quarterback ever. And it's just a matter of, do you want to develop it? I mean, nobody ever. I mean, I've been watching football for 30 years. I don't remember a 6'4", 240-pound, 4.4 running quarterback with a howitzer. This guy really does have an amazing skill set. It's just a matter of, can he figure it out? Can he figure it out? Is he a quarterback? He might not be a quarterback. He might be a running back.
He's a running back.
He might be a running back.
Larry, the glaze is absolute. Listen, the glaze is crazy. I agree with you on a lot of things. This one, I'm pushing back. The glaze is crazy. Listen,
you don't like Anthony Richardson's talent?
Even in college, I watched him a lot in college. He was the most inconsistent quarterback I watched that year when he was, the year before he came into the pros. This guy's terrible. People in the chat are saying it too. This is one thing. His football IQ is low. His football awareness on Madden's probably a 0. He can't avoid getting hit. And the fact that he took himself mid-game because he was tired. God forbid you get tired during game. That's insane to sit there and say he's the greatest skill set. This man can't even last.
Nobody's got this guy's talent. Nobody can throw the ball like this. Nobody's this big. Nobody's this fast.
Nobody sits there and says, "You know what? Take me out in the middle of the game. I'm tired."
He's raw. There's no question. He's a developmental prospect. But unlike the Colts invested a high pick in him. Chris Ballard's got egg on his face. But whoever gets him next gets him for nothing. Gets him for cheap. And you wouldn't want to develop Anthony Richardson?
No.
Really?
No, he can't stay healthy. This is a team that has so many injuries, the 49ers. You think he would actually be able to stay healthy on this team with this conditioning staff? Larry, no. Stop it.
All right.
No.
Kev saying, you're not winning people over with the Anthony Richardson thing. I'm not trying to,
Larry,
I'm not trying to win anybody over. I really don't care. I'm going to give you my opinion, and I really don't care what you think.
I don't care what you think.
Doors fan 991. Mike March said Lance was trash, slow, and looked like he runs in hiking boots. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I agree that that it's like if you believe in Lance, but you don't believe in Richardson, I gotta know why, because Richardson's way better talent than Lance. All right, let's get to topic 2. Patrick Taylor dislocated his shoulder, but he's out for the year. Is that surprising to you? Why would Patrick Taylor be out for the year with a dislocated shoulder?
It's a long recovery. That's a long recovery. Rehab for that could be up to 6 months for a dislocated shoulder plus surgery. It's a long one. That's a very extensive recovery, man. That's a tough break because I really like Patrick Taylor. I thought he was going to make this roster. Good veteran. He's a guy that's been on the team for the last couple of years now, last 2 years, and I liked him. But I think they ran him a lot this offseason. Like in training camp, he was getting the ball like almost every time in preseason. I was like, where's this guy? Give some of these other guys some carries. So they literally ran him to the ground, Larry.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was his agent, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed because I don't like the way they used him. They used him all the time in camp, all the time. The guy ran the ball a ton, and now he's out and he's hurt, and it's like, whatever. But to me, I mean, I'm not a big Patrick Taylor fan. He averaged 1.5 yards a carry against Denver. He had averaged negative 1.5 yards a carry against the Raiders. He runs upright. He takes hits. He's not, to me, he's always just been a special teamer and nothing more. I mean, he was a decent signing as a special teamer, I guess. But I mean, I just didn't get it. I mean, don't understand it. Why would Patrick Taylor get as much run as he has gotten this summer? I don't get it. And now he's out for the year. Sucks. So what do you think? I mean, we talked about it on KNBR. Should they go after Brian Robinson? Should they try to trade for the Commanders' Brian Robinson? I think the Commanders are really making a mistake, to be honest. I thought it was a mistake for the Niners to get rid of Jordan Mason. Mm-hmm. And I definitely think it's a mistake for the Commanders if they get rid of Brian Robinson. Getting rid of running backs at the start of a football season where running backs get crushed and they go down left and right just is always not smart. I think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I'm the one who was talking him up after the Shrine game. I really loved him. He was good at Arizona. He should have been drafted. I would have used that last pick that was on Junior Bergen. I would have used it on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, looking back on it. And I love that back. But so what? You need all the backs you can get. I'm very surprised that they're so in love with Krosky-Merritt that they are going to cast off Brian Robinson. I mean, it's like, what's wrong with having two backs? I don't get it. Now, I know Robinson he's in a contract year, and maybe he's going to be pissed off if he doesn't get the ball a little bit. But, I mean, everybody in the NFL at this point is a committee. It's running back by committee. So I would absolutely go for Brian Robinson if I'm the Niners, but I think it's a terrible decision by the Commanders if they decide they're going to. I mean, I've heard reports that they either want to trade him, and if they don't get a good offer, they're just going to release him.
That's crazy. That
is crazy. But I think it must have something to do with the fact that he's a free agent at the end of the year and is going to want the ball and maybe will resent Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. But, I mean, for the Niners, I think the number one thing that bothers me right now about the 49ers is that they're not going to win anything if CMC is not healthy in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl. Yeah. And they don't have a big time running back 2 right now. You needed to have a big time running back 2. And I wanted it to be Guerendo, but I just don't feel like Guerendo's ever going to be the true running back 2 guy. I think he's more of a gadget guy. He's going to be nice, but he's not RB2. He's not, and he definitely couldn't be the starter if if CMC went down for more than a week or two without getting hurt. But if I could get Brian Robinson, a legitimate workhorse between the tackles, RB2, I think they ought to do it. I really think they ought to do it. I think it's in their best interest to make sure that they ease off of CMC this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. I would love B-Rob. Now, I get it. They'd have to trade something, and he's going to want money, so it's more of a rental. But that's a great rental because you want to make sure you protect your guy, CMC. He's a key to your offense. But if you run him to the ground and he gets hurt, kiss the season kind of goodbye because it's going to be hard to replace him. We saw last year they tried to, and they really couldn't. Isaac Randall, good player. I just don't think he's durable enough, and he's the guy that can withstand 15 to 20 carries. I love the guy, but he's more of a gadget type player that they're going to be able to use and as like extra weapon. James Jones and Corey Kiner were two guys they drafted to replace Jordan Mason, who I loved. I get why they traded him, save some money, give him an opportunity to shine somewhere. He was going to get more money. He's restricted free agent. So I understand it. I wish they didn't trade Jordan Mason. They turned him into two good running backs, but they're both two injured running backs now. So it kind of sucks. And then you're at this position where your running backs right now are thin. Some of these guys are untested. Keyshawn Vaughn, he's not a starting running back. He's not a guy that you're going to really rely on. Jeff Wilson's good, but he's older. He's not going to give you a lot of carries. He looks good though, because he knows the offense, but he's not an RB2. He's a good rotation running back. You need another guy. And I'm a little worried about Isaac Randall because he has been through so many injuries in his 2 years now. Hamstring, groin, shoulder, this injury, that injury. Like, I don't know. B-Rob would be great. I think the Niners need to get somebody to help this depth chart, because how many times do we see the 49ers go through running backs like crazy? It's midseason. They're working out running backs. It's going to happen again this year. I just hope they can keep Christian McCaffrey healthy. He looks amazing this year, but they need someone to help him out, man. It's looking rough, man. All these injured running backs, it's crazy. And then Corey Kiner, he has a severe ankle sprain. He might not be back until week 6. Who knows? That's a rough injury in itself.
He looks good too. How great was that 19-yard run? I mean, he was going to get up and try to run on that wrecked ankle. I mean, it was Corey Kiner is incredible.
He's good. That's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy. I really think Corey Kiner is going to be a good player in the NFL. All right. So yeah, I'm with you on the Garendo thing. It's like he looks great. But I just think that if you don't bank on him and then whatever he gives you, you're surprised by, I think that's the best way to go. If you're going to bank on him, I think you're going to be disappointed.
I agree.
So Brian Robinson would make a lot of sense. The other guy that would make a lot of sense, and I mentioned to you on KMBR last hour, is Frank Gore's kid.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Frank Gore Jr. now. And it's not, before people start yelling about nepotism and this and that, a bunch of garbage. Let me just say this. I'm not a sentimental type guy. I am a sentimental person, but I'm not a sentimental person when it comes to, I'm not saying, oh, go get Frank Gore because it's Frank Gore's kid and a great story. I like Frank Gore Jr. as a player. I like him. I think he's good. He makes you miss. He caught 5 or 6 balls last week. He averaged over 6.5 yards a carry. He pushes the pile. He has run strength. He's not Frank, but there's no crime in that. But here's the thing. Frank Gore tore his ACL on both his right and left knees at Miami and still wound up playing forever and rushing for 16,000 yards. You don't think you'd be interested in his offspring? That is an amazing stretch of durability. And you look at his kid is built the same way. Really stocky, really powerful. Really, it doesn't seem like, he ever is hurt by any of these big time hits. He's a tough, like Frank was like one of the toughest guys ever. His kid's pretty tough. He's not quite the same size as Frank, but he's not tiny. I love the idea of getting Brian Robinson and Frank Gore Jr. I've looked at all the Bills projections. He's had a nice preseason, but he's not projected. They have all day Ray Davis. They have James Cook. They're probably going to wind up putting him on the practice squad, and that means he's got to clear waivers. It would be very popular with the fans, but screw that. It's not about that. It's just about this guy can run the rock. I like Frank Gore Jr. What do you think?
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? You want to say it's not about the fan, but the fans would absolutely – they might go buy a Frank Gore Jr. jersey just because of the culture.
I would. Why not?
Or you can pull out your old Frank jerseys, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, he's actually a good running back. I saw him a lot in college. He has good blocking skills. It'd be better than getting guys like Elijah Mitchell back, getting guys like Keyshawn Vaughn, or trying to get Matt Breida out of retirement. Give this young kid a chance. At the end of the day, what can you do? He may not make the roster, go to practice squad. Hey, give him a shot. The Nepo baby deserves it. This is an actual player that can play, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on him if he was to come with the Niners, because everybody would say, oh, my God, he's got to be like his dad. But this kid can handle it. It would be pretty fun to have him. And at the end of the day, just get as much depth you can, because right now running back depth is very scarce. Just bring them in, and if they don't work, they don't work. But it's better to get those guys than trying to get guys that you're like, I don't know if he's going to be able to be like you mentioned earlier, Elijah Mitchell. If the 49ers were to bring back Elijah Mitchell, I'd be so mad, because this man. You're talking about
get ready, because he's not going to make Kansas City's team.
I know, and
Shanahan likes him.
Work him out. They're probably going to work him out. But here's the thing: the Niners have a running back room full of guys that are hurt. Why are you bringing in a guy that's potentially has a chance of getting hurt, or he's perennially hurt? So bring in guys that are, a very what's the word I'm looking for durable, because. I don't know if he's like his dad, but Frank Gore, like you said, ACLs, he even fractured his hip one year. Like, come on, man. And he came back, and he still was one of the greatest running backs of all time. So if he has a little bit of his dad in him in terms of durability, I'm all for it.
He looks just like the dad. Leon Sandcastle says of Gore Jr., he ran for 329 yards in the 22 Lending Tree Bowl, 2 rushing touchdowns and an 18-yard passing touchdown. I saw him in the East-West Shrine game. He was the MVP. He was the MVP of the East-West Shrine game in St. Petersburg in January or February. He full speed cuts. He can make you miss. I really like Frank. I like Frank, but I also like his kid, and I think it would be smart. Yes, I know there'll be people that would be like, oh, it's a story and this and that, and I'd get tired of all the stupid questions of Shanahan. Isn't it so cute? What a great story.
Some of those questions, man, I don't know.
I know some of them are soft.
Your cohorts, man. Some of these questions they ask, I don't know. They get paid to ask those questions. They asked them about smelling salts. Come on, man.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's like, it's like I'm working on a story, and here I need a quote, and it's like I'm just so glad I'm not ever working on a story.
Don't ask about smelling salt.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. I did ask a question today. I'll replay, because I liked the question I asked Shanahan today, and I thought he gave a good answer. So we'll play that in a second. Nate Sudfeld signed today. He's probably going to play this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Carter Bradley's second game? I know a lot of people hated the Denver game, but dude, how about the Carter Bradley frozen rope to Chosen that he dropped at the 5-yard line? If Chosen catches that, Chosen winds up with like 7 catches for 135 yards and a touchdown. And that was one of the best throws I've seen a 49er quarterback make since Kaepernick. I mean, it was a freaking laser down the field, over the defender, right into his hands. Chosen only had a quarter step of separation on the defender, and he still stuck it in there, and he dropped it, unfortunately. But what did you think of Carter Bradley against the Raiders?
Yeah, he played a lot better in that first game. That first game I was at, oh, man, I had a headache watching Carter Bradley. He was missing, making bad plays, turnovers. It was bad. People were more worried about doing the wave in the crowd than watching Carter Bradley. But the game 2, definitely a big bounce back. I feel like he had a little bit extra motivation. It was like a revenge game for him, because he's a former Raider. So I feel like he really was motivated for that one. Nice throws. The Chosen play, I was like, oh, my God, you got to catch that one. He had another nice play where he threw it to Tariq Owens, and Tariq Owens dropped it. He had some big passes that were dropped, but he was throwing some ropes. Love that for him. I don't think he ultimately makes a roster, but it was a nice little bounce back from week 1, because week 1, there was no way he was making the roster for the following week. And when they waived Mordecai, I was like, there's absolutely, how do you do that? They both played bad, but I was like, man, he called his dad and said, please give me another chance. And he looked a lot better for week 2.
He did. He did. He threw the ball well. The guy's got a really good arm. There's no question about that. Now, that's not the bottom line, but it's good to see. It's always nice to have one quarterback that just has an absolute howitzer. And there's no question Bradley can really, really zip it.
Yeah.
He can rip it. Yeah, he can absolutely rip it. One of the interesting things that's developing with a week to go before the cutdown is that there's quite the battle for the last cornerback spot. And I think it's going to come down to Luter versus Lucas versus Trey Brown. Now, I'm not sure exactly where you sit on this. Lucas has had a great preseason, and he's made big plays. Luter probably has the most talent, right? He was the 5th-round draft choice. He's a man-to-man cover guy, but his coverage in the summer has been very soft at times. He's had some good plays. He almost had an interception in the Denver game, and he had a pretty good pass coverage down the field on one of the plays. But then other times his coverage is soft, and he's just playing too far off. And then there's Trey Brown, who's the veteran who had a really good PFF grade in that Denver game. I didn't see his grade for the Raider game. Where if it comes down to, hey, you can have one of these guys, Chase Lucas, Luter, Trey Brown, I would go with Luter. The fans, I think, would go with Lucas, but I think the Niners are going to go with Trey Brown because I think they're just going to, one, they've guaranteed him $500,000. He's got a $500,000 guarantee. Not that $500,000 is that much for a football team. It's really not, but they did guarantee him $500,000, and he has played well, and he probably is the most versatile of these three guys. And as far as like, he could play the slot, he can play outside, he can play safety. I mean, Trey Brown's a veteran, right? So he's the veteran who's probably a little bit more versatile. Luter's the high upside, long armed, big bodied corner, but needs probably tutelage and coaching. And Lucas is that special teamer, nickel blitzer, who Saleh looks like he can utilize, and he's had a big preseason, but he's also probably the one guy out of those three that would probably have the best chance of clearing waivers. So what do you think, Raj? How do you see? And then Saron Neal's got a spot here because he's guaranteed $2.25 million. So I have him as the fourth safety, and I'm going 4 safeties, 6 corners. And to me, I'm just debating between these 3 guys for that 6th corner. Break the tie. How do you see that Brown against Lucas against Luter?
All right. So I know he's guaranteed $500K. I hope he enjoys it and spends it wisely because he is not making this team. Are you kidding me? I get it. He's versatile. And I know the 49ers like those versatile guys, Jimmy Ward type guys that can play everywhere. But listen, Chase Lucas, man, this guy has worked his tail off. A story of all stories. He was preseason. He was a practice squad guy last year. He's the preseason king for the 49ers. And he's good friends with De'Amon Lenore. Lenore is going to be a captain this season. You best believe he wants Chase Lucas on his roster, man. This guy has earned it. Nickel cornerback galore. This guy has been playing his ass off. He can play the blitzes. Salah's going to use him a lot. I'm telling you, man, you don't put Chase Lucas on this roster, it's going to be a bad mistake. Let me tell you, man, this guy has earned it with how he's played. This man, reward this man with the roster spot. Darrell Luter, he's done nothing for me in the 3 years he's been. I get it. He has talent. You got to see the field, Larry. I know you love Darrell Luter. This man's been injured 2 years. He's finally healthy this year, and he really hasn't done much to, excite me this year. He's got talent. Take your talents elsewhere. Or, you know what? I feel if Darrell Luter gets waived, he'll clear waivers. They can put him on the practice squad. I really don't think anybody's claiming him. Trey Brown, enjoy your $500K. Darrell Luter, we'll get you back on the practice squad. Chase Lucas, you are a 49. That's the way I look at it.
What about this guy? What about today? I asked Lenore about Jacob Robinson, and he said, man, he's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Do you cut Jacob Robinson?
No, you need to make sure he's not on those 3. Jacob Robinson.
No, I had him on. Just so you know, I mean, I have the top 5 corners as the obvious ones are, Luter. I mean, not Luter. Lenore, Stout, and Renardo. Right, those are your top 3. Then I have Flowers as 4, Robinson as 5. And then at that point, the 5th, as I said, the 5th is going to come down to either Luter, Trey Brown, Chase Lucas. I think that's it. I guess Fabian Moreau, maybe you could throw, but he's been hurt all this whole time. So I would say it's Lucas, Luter, or Brown You're thinking they're going to go Lucas. I'm hoping they go Luter, but if I had to bet it, I would bet they're going Brown.
If we're both wrong and they pick Brown, we're both gonna be pissed off. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I just think, ask my question for Brown or for Lucas would be like, what are you doing? Are you building a football team, or is it all about the finishing touches? Because if you're building a football team, build a football team. Coach them up. Some of these young guys go with the best young players and coach them up and get them to improve. That's what I would go. I'd go with the best athletes, the best talent, because you know what? I mean, everything else. I mean, if this was a Super Bowl year, they were absolutely a Super Bowl team, then maybe and they just needed one more piece. Maybe I'd go Chase Lucas. But this team, if Renardo Green or Lenore, or God forbid both go down,
no,
who do you think is going to start on the corner? Chase Lucas isn't going to start on the corner. You're going to need to have Dallas Flowers. He can do it. Robinson, I think, could do it. Luter, I think, could do it. I don't believe Lucas could do it. I think Brown could do it. I think Luter could do it. We'll see. The Niner fans badly want Chase Lucas. So we'll see how it goes.
He's been balling, man. He deserves it.
There's no question. He's had a great.
I know what you're saying with Jared Luter, because he had the size and he's probably more fit to play outside corners. Right? I understand it.
35-inch arms. He's got tons of press man experience, but the coverage at times has been too soft. I agree. I mean, that's just.
So I feel like, I really think that, and I know some people would disagree, that you could clear him on waivers and get him on the practice squad. So then if there is an injury, you just pull him off the practice. I think that you could do it.
I think Lucas will clear waivers. I don't think Luter's going to clear waivers.
I'm on the opposite of you, but
Lucas has already been exposed to waivers 4 times in his career.
But he's gotten better now. He looks a lot better.
He has gotten better, and he's had a good camp, and it's been kind of high profile. So there's a chance somebody would claim him.
Yeah.
John Mechie. The Niners tried to trade for John Mechie and didn't. And, somebody in here was asking just a minute ago. Oh, here it is. Luis says, Romeo Doubs, Kendrick Bourne, most likely to get cut or traded. Do you think the Niners can get one of them? Well, let's talk about those two. I think these are two dramatically different cases. Bourne, I don't think you want Bourne at all. I mean, he tore his ACL in 2023, and he's never been the same since. And as far as Doubs, on the other hand, is a guy that you absolutely do want. I think he's a big time starter. Now, he's had some fits where he's dropped the ball, but you know what? He's a Nevada kid. I think you might be able to get him to sign here long term. I think in a lot of ways, Doubs is the perfect receiver to add to what the Niners have, because they have some vertical threats, and then they have some young guys. This is a guy who's an experienced player who can operate in that intermediate. And I think he would be a really nice complement to JJ, Pearsall, Ayuk. I think Doubs, if you get Doubs and Brian Robinson, I feel worlds better about the upcoming season. That's just me. How do you feel about Doubs?
Oh, man, I would love to have him. He's got good skills. I mean, I know he's had some issues with the hands, but hey, he's still young. I think he's got a lot of upside with the 49ers wide receiver core. I think he'd be a good fit. And you can utilize him for a while and, make it easier to allow, Brandon Ayuk to kind of slide in a little easier instead of rushing him back, and they do have a lot of injuries right now that you have to be concerned about. And we don't know if Watkins is going to be 100% when season starts. DeMarcus Robinson might get suspended. Is Jennings going to be right? We know Cowing's been dealing with the hamstring. Are they even going to utilize him much, because he's got speed, but Kyle's really never used him much. So I think it'd be a good fit for the team. It'd be a great addition. I don't think it's going to really cost you much. I'd do it. I get Doubs. And now I know there's people, I think Ted Beat says, Marquise Goodwin, former 49ers. Yesterday he posted a story.
I saw that.
I don't want Marquise Goodwin. He was great.
He wasn't a good receiver in his day.
I know.
I mean, seriously, he wasn't good when he was good. Alex Faulkner, why does Larry think Doubs is being cut? Larry doesn't think Doubs is being cut. We're talking about being traded.
But someone in the comment says he might get cut, is what it said.
I don't think he will. I mean, I think he's a cut above that. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, I don't see Green Bay cutting him. I think he's going to be traded, but I think you could probably get him for a 5th.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe a 6th.
Day 3 pick, yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, day 3 pick, and the only question is, would Green Bay do? Would they send him here? Probably not. Probably not. But to me, that's a nice receiver. Dobbs, I'd be really excited about the Niners getting Dobbs.
Yeah.
Jake Moody.
Oh.
He made all of his kicks today. And this weekend, obviously, he missed from 53. He made from 26, but it wouldn't have been good from 30. But he's working with a sports person, but it's not a sports psychologist. And I think it was reported earlier that he is working with a sports psychologist. Yeah. He's not working with a sports psychologist. He's not a psychologist. It's just somebody that works with him on his routine and his preparation. I'll say this about the guy. I've said this to you a few times, so sorry if I'm repeating myself. But I've interviewed the guy, and you've seen my interviews of him. He's not a squirrely, nervous guy. He's not. He's quiet. He doesn't talk tons, but he's not squirrely and nervous. And he gives you confidence when you talk to him that he's solid and unbothered by all this. But the fact that he's got kind of like a coach to coach him through some of the criticism, I think, does that make you feel better? Does it make you feel worse? I don't know. How do you feel about Moody coming out of the Raider game? Do you feel great? Because it's like, hey, man, he had, baptism by fire. He missed something. He recovered. He pulled himself back up. He made 3 field goals, including a 59-yarder game winner, walk-off. And I feel great because he came out of the fire. Or do you look at it and go, no, because this guy keeps stepping into the fire. And, I feel worse about him not because he missed from 53, but because he would have missed from 30 with one of those kicks. Where are you on Jake?
Kind of in the middle. I mean, yeah, I get it. He stepped into the fire, but at the same time, he had to go through that adversity. And I think it was a good confidence builder. It's kind of what Kyle said. He says those kicks really strengthen him. I think mentality-wise, it will help him confidence-wise, because you go through there, you miss the kick, people, crapping on you, and you miss a 53-yarder. But after that, he nailed them all, which is good. And I'm glad he's making his kicks in practice, because ever since they cut Joseph, he's never missed a kick in practice. That's actually good. That's a stat for you guys to know. So good to know that.
Since Joseph has been banished from the kingdom, Moody has never missed in practice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's missed one kick.
Once again, why do we care about practice again? Because it's about the game, right? But you're saying,
but it sharpens.
I hear you.
He needs to make as many kicks as he can. Because I'm glad that he made that kick. I was happy for him, but at the same time, it was a roller coaster of emotions for me watching them. I'm sure for everybody else watching around the world. It's stressful, man. So it's like, is he going to go to every game and it's going to be this nervous, don't hold your breath type thing? It's what it is. It's going to be one of those things. So, I mean, I hope he continues to make them. But the fact that he has this helper, I saw a couple months ago, they posted how he changed his drop. And I think I posted on Instagram how he's, got this guy. It's like his trainer. Let's put it what it is. It's probably a guy that helps him, but he also is like good for him, like a therapist. It's probably like a therapist for him. Mentally, he just needs to get over the psyche of the game. But whatever he needs to do, I don't care. I'm cool with it. If you need a therapist, if you need a sports psychologist, if you need a trainer, whatever, make the kicks, man. That's all that matters. And he made them. So I'm happy that he did. And I like that George Kittle came, and a good leader. He came over to him and he talked him up after he missed. He says, listen, man, calm down. Let's make the kicks. It's a good leader. He didn't go and choke him. He didn't go try to attack John Weeks. I thought that was he didn't try to take out John Weeks. You remember last year, our fight last year happened because of that situation. We didn't have a Larry fight.
Well, I did find it very amusing the other day when Kyle Shanahan's like, I don't talk to kickers. And then he goes one more step and he goes, and I don't like it when guys talk to kickers. Well, then why the hell did you let Debo go at your kicker last year? If you don't like guys talking to kickers, then how come you didn't push back when your guy talked to your kicker?
He didn't talk. He yelled at him. You know what? He didn't talk to him. He yelled at him. He scolded him.
Of course he yelled at him.
Holy crap.
I mean, come on. I mean, I don't like talking to kickers. I just want to see him make the kicks. Okay, that's cool. But then he's like, and I don't like other guys talking to him. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Last year, Debo got in the guy's face and you backed Debo. Unbelievable.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, Larry, I do think that was good for him. I think that was great for him to make that kick. Like, the team rallied around him. They like hugged him. It was like chariots of fire. It was like, oh my God, this great moment. So I love that for him. But it was a preseason. The amount of drama for a preseason game was too much for me. I hope that it's not a roller coaster every game out, and I think it is. I'm gonna have a lot of Rolaids this season with Jacob.
That's awesome. Well, that's what it's going to take. Lots of Rolaids.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I asked Shanahan a question I mentioned before. I thought he gave me a really good answer today. He always gives me good answers for the most part, but today I was kind of asking him, hey, are you involved at all in this? Like, because Shanahan's the central figure, right? He's the guy. I mean, Lynch was appointed by Shanahan, but I mean, they work together. But I mean, Shanahan, I think, makes the most money. So you kind of think of him as the central figure in the Niners. And so I asked him, are you involved in the canvassing of the league so that, maybe there might be somebody that's cut in Washington that's better than your linebacker, or somebody who's cut, in Tampa that's better than your corner or whatever. So I asked him about it. He gave me a pretty good answer here. Listen to this. This is Kyle talking about the Niners process here in the next week when it comes to pairing the roster and how it all comes together. And here's what Kyle had to say about it. Oh, hold on a second. It would really help if I turn the volume up. There we go. Here we go.
With the cut down looming on Tuesday, do you yourself and your staff get involved with canvassing the league? And how much do you have meetings to compare guys that you project getting cut in other camps that you think might be better than your own guys?
No, as coaches, you don't really have time to scan the league. You have ideas of people you've coached in the past, people you see on tape that you're going against, or people you scrimmage against where you notice and you can ask questions. But that's what all the personnel guys are working on nonstop. We have a lot of meetings with the personnel guys to talk about where we see our final 53, where they see it, where we see our practice squad, where we believe, hey, this is our final 53 by default. Can we upgrade at any other spot? And those are the things that they bring to us, and they're way ahead on that stuff than us. And as you get closer, you see if there's any people you can upgrade with.
Yeah. So it's a labor-intensive deal, but in the past, Raj, I think the Niners have kind of been on the mindset, hey, look, if he's not good, if they're not good enough to make our camp, I mean, our guys are better than what's out there because we're deeper than these other teams. But I don't know if they can say that anymore. And I don't know if they can say that just across the board. They might be deeper, let's say, at linebacker or some other position. Yeah. But there might be another team out there that's deeper at another position. So I thought that was kind of interesting, that, hey, look, it's like, yeah, the coaches don't have time, but the personnel staff is grinding. And there's probably some guy in his office with a board that says, okay, we think this guy and that guy's going to get cut. We think that guy is better than our guy. Mm-hmm. And let's make sure that the medicals all check out. Let's look at his film again in the preseason. Let's make a couple calls. Let's do our due diligence. Let's find out if this, because we like our guy, but their guy we like a little bit more, and the coaches like him. You know what I mean? So this is how you get incrementally better. And the Niners, every time they reshuffle, there's an opportunity to, if personnel better than the teams out there, to add good players along the mix into your mix. So we've seen other teams do it. Heck, we saw Harbaugh do it. We saw the Lynch and Shanahan do it. So it can be done. It can be done. It'll be interesting to see if they go after anybody outside of this organization at the cut down, because there might be better players, and the Eagles may have some better players than the Niners or the Chiefs or a couple of these teams. Harbaugh, Shanahan. That's coming up. Harbaugh, Shanahan.
I know.
Who's the better coach? They asked Baldy. Baldy said Harbaugh.
I'd agree. I think overall, it's close, but the thing is, look at Harbaugh. Okay, I don't know if Kyle, you could say this for Kyle. Maybe if he did, you could. But Jim Harbaugh has went to the pros, and he's coached at a very high level. He's taken teams to the Super Bowl. Did he win? No. Kyle Shanahan's take a team to the Super Bowl. Did he win? No. But the difference is Jim Harbaugh built a hell of a team in college, and he won a national championship. I think that's the difference. Like, he's won at every level. Maybe Kyle can if he ever went to college. I know it's a different level, but he's been one of the few coaches, Harbaugh, that could go from college ranks to the pros and win at every level. To me, he's a great coach. We all know him and York had the fallout because Jim Balky or Mr.
Trent Baalke.
Trent Baalke. And I don't know, it kind of stymied him. I feel like that whole situation spiraled out of control. I think they could have won a Super Bowl if he stayed around. He really fixed this team because they were in the depths of the abyss for years. He came around. Hell, he fixed Alex Smith. He made him look like a good quarterback, and he's a good quarterback. He's a really good coach, man. I've loved Harbaugh. I don't think that it's something that I hate Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle's a good coach. I think he's a good offensive strategizer. He's a great offensive playmaker, play caller. But I don't know. Coaching wise, I'd give the edge to Harbaugh. If I had to go, and choose one of those guys to lead me in one game, I'd go with Harbaugh.
Is there anybody in this preseason that's opened your eyes around the league?
In preseason around the NFL?
Just give you an example. The Bears beat the Bills this weekend 38-0.
Yeah, they did.
And Tyson Bagent had an amazing day. The Broncos, we talked about, the Broncos, how the Niners looked against the Broncos. Did you see what the Broncos did to the Cardinals? It was 27-7.
They smoked them, bro. They smoked them. They're going to be good.
The
Broncos are going to be good, man.
Yeah. How about Jackson Dart? Jackson Dart for the New York Giants against the Jets, 14 of 16 for 137 yards and a touchdown. Jackson Dart looks really good.
He does.
He almost was a Ram.
He'll be a starter in no time. The guy that – okay, we'll talk about Rams. Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, what about him? He threw for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns, 28 of 40 the other day.
It's looking good. If Stafford has a back injury and he's not able to play, I think they're going to be okay with Stetson Bennett in that offense. I really do. I think that McVay is going to be able to utilize him well, and they can win games with him. I mean, I know he's not Stafford, but I think they'll be confident with him playing quarterback. He was impressive to me.
Have you seen any of the Seahawks this summer?
I did. I saw them play the Chiefs the other day. I mean, I know it's preseason, but they looked pretty good, man.
Their defense looks good.
Yeah, they look good.
Their defense has gotten a little bit better. Nick Emanwari, Julian Love. I mean, they got a big time secondary and a decent defensive line.
They got a good coach. He was with the Ravens when they dismantled us on Christmas. I was there.
Yatir Gross-Matos. What do you do with him?
Cut him.
You put him on the team or you cut him? You cut him.
IR. Put him on the injured reserve. Cut ties with this man. He has not been able to be healthy since the day they brought him in. It's unfortunate. He's like a guy, kind of reminds me of, I mentioned this to you earlier on KMBR. He reminds me of like D Ford. Like, he has potential. He could be good, but he's never healthy. This guy has been an absolute waste for the Niners. Just get him out of here. This man has never been able to stay healthy. There's always hype. I don't know why they're keeping him around, Larry. Get him out of there.
I was cracking up listening to Middlecoff do a breakdown on the Niners. And he's like, Dom Pooney got hurt on a fucking field goal.
I know.
That was awesome.
I can't believe it.
Dom Pooney suffered a knee sprain. Shanahan told us today his return timeline remains a few weeks away. Is Dom Pooney there at Lumen Field week 1 against the Seahawks?
I think so. Because he avoided a lot of I'm glad it wasn't a PCL because that was what they thought. So knee sprain. I think he'll be back for week 1. I think they're really being cautious. It could have been a lot worse, Larry, but I think he'll be ready for week 1. It's a tough one.
And you feel good about Jake or not good about Jake?
Moody?
Yeah.
I don't feel good about him, but I feel better after watching him make that game winner. 59-yarder is pretty nice, but it's preseason. So let's see him continue to build off of that. I feel better, but I don't ultimately I feel like it's going to be a roller coaster every week.
Last one before we get out of here. Caught up with Curtis Robinson today. Really love C-Rob. And I asked him about Nick Martin. And, man, this guy, they have the same agent. So listen to this. This is pretty good stuff. This is me asking about Nick Martin, who I mean, Nick Martin. I mean, I definitely we'll get your thoughts on Nick Martin in just a second. But here's Curtis Robinson earlier today asked about Nick Martin.
It was pretty fun for us to watch Martin fly around in that second game. You play his position. What's it like for you to watch him do his thing?
It's awesome. We're actually signed to the same agency, so I got to watch his tape. My agent sent some stuff over before, and his college stuff was crazy. But it's cool to see him kind of start to play faster as he picks up stuff mentally. But as you guys can see, he's a physical freak. It's pretty cool to see when he puts body on body. He has more time in the system, but not just myself. I think everyone on this team is really excited to see him continue to grow.
Game recognizes game.
I love it. Yeah, Nick Martin.
What would you say about Nick Martin? Like if you ran into a Niner fan who was like, "Hey man, I know you're Mr. Niner on RSF 49ers. Tell me about Nick Martin. I haven't seen him. I've been traveling all summer. Tell me about Nick Martin." What would you say?
He's aggressive, man. He's a fast guy. He's kind of like all over the field. He just needs to dial it down and get a little bit controlled. The way I say it's kind of like he's kind of like uncontrolled chaos. He needs to be more controlled chaos. But it was a huge improvement from week 1 to week 2, and you could see the talent he has. I think he's just really eager because he didn't play a lot of games last year because he had it was a meniscus or MC. It was a meniscus injury in college. So I feel like he's just chomping at the bit to get out there. But this man is an aggressive linebacker. I think he's got talents. He's got the traits. Very athletic. I mean, that hit he had, that hit stick. Oh, that was Nick Martin. I mean, he was explosive. He just needs to kind of tone it down because he gets a little aggressive where he's going to miss tackles. And I think once it slows down for him and Saleh is able to kind of reel him in a little bit, I think he's going to be a great linebacker. I loved your tweet this week, by the way. I had to feature it on my page that you said, you hear all the haters that said you're writing off Nick Martin after week 1. He's a potential Pro Bowl or something like that. You went off on the people.
Said you're ripping a Pro Bowl, future Pro Bowl linebacker.
I loved it, Larry. I had to post it on my page. I was like, Larry.
You're saying I had a good take. Well, you know what? Somebody over here, Patrick Martinez, is Larry hitting the bottle too hard lately? Wow. That would be, maybe you dropped an O there. That'd be TOO. No. Because his takes have been horrible lately. Go ahead. Name one. Name one take you don't like. I know you don't like the Anthony Richardson.
I think it's the Anthony Richardson. I'm gonna agree with them. That was a bad take. I'm just not an AR5.
You're not a Richardson guy, but when Richardson's good, you're gonna love him.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's hit some supers. MSQ, LOL. I thought because you guys you were on the KMBR YouTube channel that you guys weren't going to be live tonight. Favorite live of the week. I just figured, I was doing the Niners Nightly on the KMBR YouTube, and I just said, well, you know what? Let's get a little extra time with Raj and give him an exposure to the KMBR audience as well. But yeah, of course, we're here as well. Jake Moody in the house. He says, I think I got my swagger back. There you go, Jake.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
There you go. Jennifer Lester, are there any good bets around the Niners? Good bets. What is she talking about there?
I bet I know.
Do you like the over-under?
For this week? This week? I don't know if she's talking about
this
week.
Do you like the season total over-under? I think the over-under is like
10.5. Yeah, I like the under on that because I got
the under.
10. I got him at 10 wins, Larry. I got him at 10 wins exact.
Oh yeah, I was telling Grant yesterday maybe 9-8, maybe 9-8.
Yeah, I think 10 wins. And then there's another one. There's like the playoff futures. There's a couple of them that I've posted up through my sponsor sites, but there's the playoff futures. There's CMC comeback player of the year. There's the over under. Those are I think are the best bets of the year.
I would probably go with. Some kind of whatever the prop is on Ricky Pearsall total catches.
Yeah.
I would go Ricky Pearsall total catches up, over more.
He's going to be, 3 catches out of 4 targets in the 1 drive alone on preseason. That tells you a lot.
He's going to catch the ball. I've seen him catch a lot of passes, a lot of different kinds of passes.
Yeah.
This summer. Jake Moody back. He says, they wrote me off. I ain't right. They wrote me off. I ain't writing back though. Who said that?
Geno Smith. Geno Smith made that line popular. Yeah,
Geno Smith. Jake Moody's back.
Oh my God.
Because when Kittle was talking to me on the sidelines, he gave me the have to pep talk from Rookie of the Year. Are you guys familiar with the have to?
No. I'll have to look that up.
I did like Rookie of the Year, but I thought it was distasteful that
Rookie
he
of the
didn't just
Year.
want to help the kid. He also wanted to date his mom.
Oh yeah, Rookie did the baseball with the Chicago. Oh, I loved that movie when I was a kid.
The ligaments, you
Yeah.
know, they were a
And
little
then they
tight.
tightened
All of a
up in
sudden, the
his-
guy just had an
and then
unbelievable.
he's like,
He
and
had
then
a
he's like,
he had a very good fastball after that point.
and then the Cubs knock on his door and they're like, we want you to play for the.
Who's the
Good
actor that plays the pitcher in that movie?
Oh, I can't remember.
He's just a mess. He's just a mess of an actor.
He was, yeah, he had the long, scraggly
he goes
hair.
by in the movie. He goes by Chet Stedman.
Chet. Oh
Chet
my God.
Stedman. Who played Chet Stedman in Rookie of the Year?
Oh my God.
Whoever
someone
it is.
Said someone said that he slid in Henry Rowengartner's mom's cheeks. Oh my God.
That's not right.
Is it
That
Busey?
ain't right.
Is it Gary Busey?
Is it Gary Busey? Yeah, it is Gary
Gary
Busey.
Busey?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
I think
it's
so.
Gary
Let me look.
Busey.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah, it's Gary Busey.
Was it? Oh, I know ball. Look
Yeah,
at
Gary
that.
Busey.
That was a good movie. God,
That was a good
that
movie.
was a good movie.
I'll
dude.
watch some of those
It was
cheese.
Gary Busey. Yes, such a good movie.
I'll watch that crap.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see. We got another one here. MSQ, Smitty and Raj aren't big fans of Kiner. Thoughts, Krug? Who's Smitty?
Oh, that's the guy. So I do like streams with that.
You
We're
guys are
not
not
fans-
fans of Kiner?
So let me explain. So as far as, because he does fantasy football content. So when we do our talks, it's like fantasy football focus. So yeah, to me, Kerry Kiner is not going to win you a lot of leagues fantasy football wise. But in terms of the player, I love Corey Kiner. I think he's good. But in terms of the fantasy football world, yeah, I'm not wasting a pick on Corey Kiner.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. But I would say this. I mean, if CMC went down, Corey Kiner is on the real short list of guys that could be the every down back.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got every down back deal. MSQ, Krug Glazing AR-15. Is that Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, that's it.
But keeps switching up on Garendo. I don't want to hear this. My opinion evolves BS. It's more like my opinion keeps fluctuating. No, I told you guys what I think about Garendo, but I told you, I don't think he's a running back. I don't believe he's a running back. I asked Kyle Shanahan, what is he? Kyle Shanahan said he's a running back, but he's not really a running back because he doesn't really have running back instincts. He's an athlete. That's what he is. He's big and strong and fast and athletic, but he doesn't have running back instincts. Running back instincts are about pick and slide, contact balance, vision, being able to read blocks. Corey Kiner has running back instincts. This guy does not have running back instincts. He has better size and better speed than Corey Kiner, but he doesn't have running back instincts. So he's an athlete. And I've said that time and time again. And I think it's been proven correct at this point. He is an athlete, but he is not a bell cow back because a bell cow back doesn't get hurt as much as he gets hurt. Every little ding, he's had 7 different injuries in 2 years. I mean, I'm not, that's not hyperbole. That's a fact. Okay. So he's hurt all the time. He's incredibly fast. He's got I'm super intrigued by the potential, but then the slap to the face is the reality, which is his reality is he has no running back instincts and he's always hurt. So,
good player, but yeah, I agree.
Do I like him? I like his potential because I like any scout likes anybody who's big, strong, fast. He's big, strong, fast. But I said it initially, and you guys all, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean? He's not a pure running back. He's not going to be your bell cow every down. This guy can carry you kind of a back. He's a big play guy. He'll make a big play, then he's going to run into the back of his lineman. He doesn't he doesn't read blocks. Like Kiner and James are backs. Those are running backs who have running back instincts. This guy's an athlete. So I have not jumped all over the place in my opinion. I'm telling you, he's not a running back. He's a great athlete. I'm super excited about the potential of CMC and Garendo as a combo, but the more I see of Garendo, the more I think he ain't going to get there. He's not going to get there because he's always hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those injuries are going to mess him up. And you're right. He's not necessarily a true running back. Like in Louisville, when he was in college, he didn't even play much running back. He didn't get much snaps.
He had one career start. Career start in college.
That's it. And he played wide receiver before, so I feel like he's absolutely more of an athlete. He's kind of like a tweener. You know, they call them tweeners in NBA. He's like a tweener in the NFL. He's, to me, more of a wide back. He's kind of like, I think Kyle.
He's a receiver. He's a receiver that's built like a running back.
Absolutely. It's the reverse Debo, who is a wide receiver. It's basically Debo. And I really think Kyle drafted this guy saying, okay, if we ever get rid of Debo, we got a guy that can kind of replace him with the types of plays he does. Because you saw last year when CMC went down, when Jordan Mason went down, okay, he had to be the running back. He was good in certain instances, but to go, that's what I said earlier, to run 10, 15, 20 carries a game, he's not built for that. He was done. I mean, he's a good player, but
you know how you know when a running back has instincts or not. If a running back has good instincts, they can do it in really tight quarters. If a running back doesn't have good instincts, they need big, huge openings. Yeah. And look at this guy. This guy is way better if you get him the ball past the line of scrimmage in the flat with wide open territory, lots of real estate, because he's huge and fast.
He's flying.
But if you ask him to, just kind of go down the line of scrimmage and pick and slide and find a hole and kind of slither in and out of it, and he just doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. He runs up his lineman's back. He fumbles. I mean, he's done 3 or 4 things that are like, what? I mean, this guy ran up the back of on a return. He ran up the back of his lineman and knocked the ball out, and the defender never touched him. It was literally, he ran up the back of his own lineman, and the ball popped out after his own lineman popped it out. I mean, it's just like, you got to be kidding me. That's not a pro football player play. That just kind of shows how raw he is. But then the 76-yard run is also really impressive.
Yeah, so he's very raw.
He's a gadget guy. I like him as a gadget guy, but he's not an every down guy.
I agree. He's very raw. But when he does something good, it's like, oh my God, he's good. But then when he does something not good, it's like, oh yeah, he's just still figuring it out. So I don't know, like him, but he's not running back too.
MSQ says Lance had a 28-0 touchdown to interception ratio for North Dakota State. He went undefeated and won the FCS national championship all in one season. What did Richardson do besides be a combine king? No, I hear you. Richardson, by the way, did it in the SEC. So he's playing in the best league there was. I know. I mean, it's not like I don't know what Richardson is. Richardson is a gigantic, fast, powerful athlete who has no idea how to play quarterback. But I just think he would be so intriguing as a goal line runner. I mean, you're talking about a 4'4" guy at 250. There ain't nobody like him. I mean, there's nobody like him. I mean, Michael Vick was super fast, but he wasn't 250. I mean, this guy's like 245 and like really fast. I'll be interested to see what happens to him because it doesn't look like it's going to happen in Indy. That's for sure. There you go on the MSQ. MSQ, another one here. Mr. Kruger glazing AR-15 versus Nick Wright glazing Patrick Mahomes might actually be a legit debate. LOL. Who's the bigger glazer? Thoughts? LOL. All jokes, of course. MSQ, you wouldn't say that to my face.
I think Nick Wright's the biggest. He's a bigger Patrick Mahomes glazer than your glazer of AR.
Everybody's a tough guy in the chat. Yeah. Chris, Mr. 49er, did you hear Taylor Swift may do Super Bowl halftime show? Pencil the Chiefs in. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I can't handle any more of the Chiefs. I seriously, it was good watching them get drilled in the Super Bowl, even though I hate the Eagles. But did you ever see that Christmas movie about the Chiefs? There was like a Hallmark. There was like a movie where Travis Kelce's mom was in the movie, and it was all about the Chiefs.
No,
oh, God, it was awful.
No,
I can't believe I watched like half of that, and I'm like sitting there going, "What am I doing? What am I? Why am I watching?
Why did you watch that? Why did you subject yourself?
It was on, and I was like, "Oh, well,
change the channel."
It was Christmas time for crying out loud. I was watching my Hallmark channel.
Come on, you know what I do on Christmas? I go
get my good Hallmark in.
I go to the Warriors game. We go to the Warriors
on Christmas.
Yeah, the last 3 years I went to a sports game. because one of my best friends, her birthday's on Christmas, so we all celebrate it.
Yeah.
So we did the Niners, Ravens, we did Warriors, and then Warriors. Last 3 years.
That Niners Ravens was hugely disappointing.
But we were on the sideline.
Hugely
We got
disappointing.
to watch it on the sidelines, so it was cool.
MSQ, AR-15 on the trade block. Krug, 3 seconds later. Give them whatever they want. Give them Purdy, Warner, Bosa, Kittle, and 5 first-round picks. Thank you for the $4.99. Joseph Ernberg says, is Robinson just a younger Patrick Taylor? Hi, Raj.
Nice.
Robinson did it in the SEC, man. Robinson was ahead of Najee Harris on the depth chart in Tuscaloosa. Almost anybody at Bama is going to be better than
dog at
Patrick
Bama.
Taylor.
He was good.
No, Robinson was quite a bit better than Patrick Taylor, for those of you who don't watch college football.
3rd round pick.
Joseph Ernberg, does God hate the 49ers? We must repent. Yeah, does God hate the 49ers? There's been an awful lot of injuries. Deebo Samuel Sr., I'm the reason he made that game winner against Tampa Bay last year without my tough love. Oh, thank you, Deebo.
Thanks, Deebo.
Yeah. And by the way, you're not struggling, Deebo. Deebo Samuel Sr., I love to my kicker guy, Money Moody. Okay.
All love to my guy.
There you go. Deebo in here again. All love to my kicker guy, Money Moody.
He sent it again because he made a mistake typo. Look at that. You got 2 supers because he made a typo.
Look at that.
That's good. Deebo came through.
Even replicated the emojis. Anthony Catania's in the house. He says, love the show. I'll be at the game this Saturday. Raj, you need a Sharp Corners hat?
Let's do it. I need a Sharp Corners. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Sharp Corners, sports cards and collectibles. One of the sponsors of the Krug Show. They're a great follow on IG. Sharp Corners 831 on the gram. 205 Cypress Avenue down in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. Anthony's at 831-521-5264. He's not just in the chat. He is the owner of Sharp Corners, sports cards and collectibles. And he does have a really cool hat collection. He got me one and one for JD. And they look really sharp.
I need to
Really
go
sharp.
down there. I need to say what's up, man. I go down to the
Oh, yeah. You love Sharp Corners. Anthony's a huge Niner fan.
I used to
MSQ. The way Krug describes Garendo is how he should describe AR-5. I think he meant AR-15 because Garendo is the AR-15 of running backs and AR-15 is the Garendo of quarterbacks. Wake up tomorrow. Wake up tomorrow? Not tomorrow. Friday. Wake up. There you go. MSQ. All jokes, Krug. Raj, been a big fan for a long time.
Appreciate you. Yeah, he has. He's been following for a long time.
I don't take it personally, but once again, I don't think you'd say that if I was sitting right here. Joseph Ernberg, does Brock Purdy clear waivers? Stop.
That's crazy.
Zachary Kelway, pull out the tea leaves, Stout or Lucas, week 1 start.
Upton.
Oh, come on, dude. It's got to be Stout, right?
Easy money. Easy. Stout. Easy.
Yeah.
He's a starter.
MSQ, don't beat me up, Krug. LOL. Be careful, man. Just watch it. You just watch it. All right, that's going to do it for us. Raj, give a quick plug to our SF 49ers on all platforms. You're a force of nature. Continue being a force of nature.
Yeah, shout out to our SF 49ers. That's the page. All platforms, you know the vibes. If you're not following, go check it out. Posting all the Niner news. Everything you want to know, it's there. You guys have a good night.
Absolutely. Raj is amazing. Thanks to all you guys. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to Sharp Corners. Thanks to Claw Daddy Arcades. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at practice for more Niners coverage. Peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of.